Hello and welcome to another episode of the ReUp. My name is Jason Delgado. This is week 1 of 2021. Pretty eventful. We're going to go through a couple things that I kind of saw and experienced as many of you experienced, sort of my take on what happened. Everybody knows what happened, but I guess my experience of how I went through some of this crazy stuff that happened this week, some positive things that happened, and also just a general shout out of positivity to the world. So it's been a pretty crazy week. I went through the events kind of in a weird way. I was in the lab all week doing my editing and doing my various projects that I'm working on, and I thought everything would be fine and dandy, and then I looked at my phone and saw 17 messages. I slid open the messages and saw one of them was from a friend, and it was a picture of a Viking in the Capitol building. And I didn't know if this was a joke or what was going on, so I started to scroll through the messages and realize what had happened. It was just shocking because I felt so much in a bubble, like I had caught it a little bit late. I try to kind of, for better or worse, avoid the news, to be honest with you, just because, it's a lot of doom and gloom. And then I feel like, I will say that CBS Sunday Morning, excellent news, very positive, sometimes a little hammy and a little bit, saccharine, but I would say an excellent news program in that it gives a good positive spin on news without feeling like it's lying to you about everything being happy. But it just focuses somehow on just the positive slants of it, sort of the things we can do to improve it, as opposed to just these sort of slanted news programs where they get to the middle of the segment and they're like, tell us how bad things really are. It's like, don't do that. Just, why are you doing this? Why are you trying to stoke the fire? But in any case, it was just shocking. It was just shocking to be a part of something like that, to be part of this history where all this crazy stuff is going on. And then you have, these people can just go into the Capitol building and just start storming. They were going to hurt people. Like, at first you see the Viking outfits and you see the goons climbing the walls, and you're just like, it's crazy people doing crazy things. What are you going to do? But these people were going to tie up Nancy Pelosi and, string her up, and, people had pipe bombs and guns. I mean, this was a real deal. This was a real deal situation, and they were going to actually do harm. And even though they look like idiots, definitely had plans, And it's just this idea and this thought that, I don't want to, it's not even wanting to get political. It's just in the face of everything. It's like, if those were a bunch of black and brown people, it would just be a bloodbath, man. Everybody in that whole scene would have been dead, man. They would have just started firing openly. I mean, seriously, it would have been like that. And I mean, that's not to say like a race war or whatever that is, but it's just like, it's just the idea that there is this sort of slant that these particular people are like patriots. They're somehow trying to defend the nation against some dark force that's trying to take away, their bathrooms and their jobs. It just seems so crazy, but I understand it. A lot of these programs were interviewing people as they were walking in and, were trampling in to the Capitol building and going through this process. And they were just mad. You can see how mad they were. They were just like, they're taken away. They changed the rules. And when they change the rules, this is what happens. We got to go back and change them back. Change, I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about, They think that this election was stolen, or that the world's being stolen, or that their jobs are being stolen, or that, their money's being stolen, like all these things. And it's like their money is being stolen. But I mean, there is this idea that they're somehow, they're trying to save us from the oppressor of England, and the oppressor of England is the America right now. America's the oppressor, man. They won't give us $2,000. They think 600 is enough. They won't extend unemployment. They won't allow certain, programs to open up to save businesses. I mean, America is oppressing in a big way right now. And it's one of those things where, if they're gonna, open up the Capitol building and do all this stuff, I mean, they should be talking about getting us checks. Let's get that going first, man. Let's get the agendas in order. But it's just a travesty. Just because, look, more people could have gotten hurt. It could have been a lot worse. The idea that it really shows the difference between how people are treated. I really think that there's this idea that because they're patriots, they're not going to get fired upon. You know what I mean? They're not going to get trampled. They're not going to get grabbed and hit to the ground and beat with batons the same way that, these Black Lives Matters protests happen, or some of these other protests happen that were about equality. They're treated differently because for some reason they're seen as patriots. They're seen as they're brothers with the police. They're trying to defund the police and we're trying to save the police. So come on, let us in. And it happened. People took selfies, you know what I mean? So it's like, that really is the part that really bummed me out and really made it sort of like, a real a bummer of a day, man. Just talking to friends. I even had a friend who was like, yo, can we play some video games just so I could get off this news for a little bit? I was like, I totally understand, bro. Totally understand it because it's madness. It'll it's one of those things where it's in the air, it's like, it's viscous, you hear a little bit of news and then it sticks with you and then you walk around with it all day and then something happens. You're like, just like that thing I heard on the news. And it's like, ugh. That's why I try to avoid it as much as possible, except for CBS Monday Morning. But everything else just seems so slanted towards fear-mongering and towards, putting opinions in your face and telling you how bad things are. And it's just like, I try to avoid it, but in this case, it was as bad as they said. It really, really was no way to sort of get around this. This was that bad. It was that crazy, and it was that disrespectful and that dishonorable and that disappointing. I mean, Confederate flag in the Capitol. I mean, how many people died for that not to happen? That's a big deal. That's a big, big deal. And so this idea of, I guess, going through the week with that is sort of like the thing that's lingering, the thing that's, sort of stinging through. It was tough to pretty much do anything, just trying to stay positive. I'm kind of goofy about, you might have seen my post on Instagram. If you don't, please follow. I'm Jason Delgado. Fun stuff, great pictures, great content, bro. But yeah, I posted out. I'm trying to kind of get in my New Year's shape again, just trying to get myself a little bit fitter and tighter for when the world opens up and the vaccine's out and the performances start happening. Maybe get on TV, get in a couple movies. I will, like I said, my goal is to be Ricky Martin beautiful. So we're working on that, but that requires exercise. But man, it's been a lot of good food, man. Been eating a lot of good food, a lot of temptations. I will tell you, I discovered vegan donuts. I can't even tell you. I have no defense for this. Look, I don't know what it is. I don't know what they do to it. I guess I know they don't do it. They don't put any animal products. But I will say that this donut, the vegan donut, I've had many different types. I had a vanilla, had a blueberry lemon. Oh, amazing stuff. So delicious. And the texture is like a cakey texture, and it's not so filling and rugged. It gives you just, I don't know, it just has a certain texture and a certain feel, and it's delicious, and it's donutty, and it's moist, and you could eat it the next day. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Vegan donuts. However, being vegan does not make them healthy. So it has been back to trying to work out with all the gyms closed and trying to find ways around it. I've been climbing mountains. I've been finding trails around me. I feel like Robinson Crusoe. I don't know if you found that thing, but yeah, I feel like an explorer. I'm out there trying to find trails and different places you can walk and just get exercise and sort of live in the outdoors without encumbering anybody else. All the trails in LA appear to be like just neighborhoods, just like fancy mansion neighborhoods. I mean, there's one trail that goes to Griffith Park that's literally through a bunch of mansions and houses, and then there's just like bushes and a set of stairs. You walk up the stairs, and there's the trail, and it's just, a gate and dirt. But it's like through a neighborhood initially, and it's like finding these little nooks and these little places where you can just walk and maybe exert yourself a little bit and get a little nature and a little sun. It's tough, man. That's tough. It's been trying to kind of, look around and see, but I did find a couple good places. Griffith Park, also Elysian Park. Elysian. I always love that name. I always think of that movie, Elysium, which I did not see. But Elysian Park, excellent. Maybe there's like a reservoir that's nice. I haven't hit quite yet, but, Echo Park Lake. So a couple places I've been trying to kind of go and explore, but man, these donuts and these cakes keep hitting a brother up with these pressures, man. And then they start raiding the Capitol building and people start getting mad. And you just got to use the sugar and deliciousness to sort of bomb these terrible feelings. But yeah, that's what we're doing. You know what I mean? Trying to get in shape, trying to avoid that negativity. And the best way that I've been, just trying to get exercise, trying to get out of the house, get exercise. It's been tough to work on projects. I'm working on, a book and the movie and then a show and all this stuff. And so, to do that, I think you got to be kind of in a good mood and a certain lightness. But, with some of the heaviness, sometimes it just burdens on you. And so what I do is I just got out of the house. Just got out of the house, did a little bit more walking, a little bit more running, exertion, working off these donuts and such. Also watched an excellent show that you might have heard of called Cobra Kai. I know, I'm so late to this. Cobra Kai is excellent. I have not finished it. I'm on season 3, episode 5, but I did season 1 and 2, and they were superbadum. Excellent stuff. I mean, got a little dark banana at the end of season 2, if I'm being quite honest with you. I thought it might have took a turn. Even in season 3, I'm like, a little serious badish. But I will say that I'm very much enjoying it. I cannot wait to finish it. It is definitely something that sort of has inspired a bit, because the whole show is about sort of balance and finding one's balance and finding one's truth and finding, this idea of, these ideas and the impressions that they put on you, like, not to spoil anything, but it's this idea, like, what's bad, what's good, you know what I mean? Like, are these even concepts? Is there only not weak and strong? Is there only not, balance? And it's like that idea is really good, I really, really like it, and it has karate. So I highly recommend Cobra Kai. Try to get through the Queen's Gambit. Couldn't do it, man. You got like 45 seconds to get me interested in the character, and if you're not, I'm just going to let it go. Started off like putting on her makeup and opening the curtains and went downstairs, took a couple pictures, started playing chess with a guy, and I was like, I'm out of here. I can't deal with it, man. I need something sparky and fun immediately. I'm sure it's excellent, and if I get through the first 2 episodes, no, I'm kidding. I'm sure if I watched a little more, it'd be great. But I just couldn't do it. Also, another one I couldn't do is Soul. Pixar Soul. Just too depressing, man. Like, I just couldn't. I didn't like the look. I didn't like the vibe. I didn't like the message it was giving. Like, this guy gets his dream gig, and then, he dies, and, like, the whole movie's in purgatory. It's like, I just don't know. I just couldn't deal with that sort of pressures right now. I just, it's just a vibe and an energy that I just wasn't with. But that was disappointing. So I would say that those were the kind of the Debbie Downers. I did not get into Queen's Gambit. I did not get into Soul. But I definitely got into Cobra Kai. I thought it was a very, very inspiring show, and I think it's good to watch. It's good for an energy release as well. Fight, revenge, pops. And also, sort of a bit of spiritual, kindredness, suggestions of balance and good and happiness that are good to find in a show. So, that was one of the things that really, really helped sort of get a little bit of the funks off. A little bit of good TV, a little bit of outdoor living. But yeah, man, tough week. Tough to get through, tough to sort of deal with, tough to balance out in the head, just because you look at that and you go like, just how it's a bad optics, man. We just look bad to other people. And I know we're not supposed to care what other people think, but you're dumb if you don't. I feel like you got to look at how we look in front of other people. And I guess it's a bad look, man. So I'm really looking forward to things getting back on track. New regime on the 20th. Get the ball rolling on some maybe 2K checks. Let's go. And yeah, I'm hoping that things just improve in general. So again, those vaccines out. My mom got the vaccine. She has not turned green or grew a tail yet. So knock on wood. She did say her arm hurt or was a little numb or hurt. She did get a little day of fever, but that was it. I guess round 2, the second vaccine, the sequel, is supposed to be a little bit more intense, but I guess this is it after that. So yeah, I'm glad that she was able to get it. I'm glad that she is able to maintain health, and she's on the front line. So who knows what these new strands of the virus. So I'm happy she's able to get vaccine. But yeah, just trying to stay safe, trying to stay busy, trying to keep the mind right. So much about being creative and doing what I do is keeping the mind right, and so that's one of the things that really kind of this week was about. It was about seeing all that sort of crazy stuff and trying to not separate myself as far as avoiding it, because it was unavoidable, and it's something that you really got to think on and really got to be aware of, and something that you got to have an opinion on. You got to stand on the side for. But it was one of these things that I also felt like you can't have it live your life. You can watch that news cycle over and over again, see every footage, every angle, every cell phone clip of that thing till the fucking cows come home. I don't even know what that means, but I will say you could do it for a while. And if you get into it too much, it just ruins the day. You got to be aware, but you can't be, encompassed. You got to find a way to kind of release from that. For me, I'm just getting out of the house, going for little runs, going for little outdoor nature hikes. Robinson Crusoe, another reference. I'm not sure if it works, but but yeah, just out there, just trying to kind of to free my mind of it and get a little outdoors, get a little nature, and watch good TV, watch inspiring karate-based television to keep the mind fluid and off all this crazy stuff. I'm really hoping week 2 does improve. It is Monday when I'm recording this, and so far so good. But yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that things improve and that things get better, and that just everything kind of looks up on the up and up. People start getting some money in their life. People start getting some balance in their life. People start getting just inspiration, just something to look forward to, as opposed to like another day of dread, another day of looking at what went wrong. I'm looking forward to when we're looking at on the upside, things are looking better every single day, and I feel like we're on our way there. So, sim sal and positive energy to everyone who made it this far. I am so grateful for your attention and your positive outlook with me. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Jason Delgado. We'll be doing these every week, hopefully. So please like, subscribe, enjoy. I got a new support coming out Friday, so that'll be fun. Still in that movie. So yeah, more content, more excitement, more fun, more good energy that we're giving out. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.